time to talk some Red Sox.
Yeah.
Boston has entered the chat. And we've got a tweet from the one and only Gordo, who will be joining us here shortly. Craig Breslow said at the GM meetings that the Red Sox are prioritizing adding middle-of-the-order power and starting pitcher to co-anchor the rotation with Crochet via Alex Spear, who we know is on 3-10 to left with TC all the time. But look, as teased, as promised, here he is. What's up? I thought he was going to call you Big Swole, and I didn't want to jump into the bro mix there, but Nat, how's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going? It's good to see some quotes like that from Craig Breslow, being direct, telling the people what the Red Sox need, what they're gonna get. Because last offseason they got what they needed, but it was iffy, it was murky until they actually did it. We didn't know what they were gonna do, but now, I mean, the message is clear.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Right.
And I think it was last week or the week before that when the guys were harassing Lou. No, I'm just kidding. They were talking about the fact that, is there more pressure this year because of how well the offseason went last year? So sticking to your tweet there for a second, because I feel like we've talked so much on this show about pitching, and pitching. If I'm going to be that person that reads too much into a situation, which we all love to do that on social media occasionally, that tweet started with middle of the order power.
Bingo.
Unpack that for me a little bit.
Well, it's interesting because I felt like the pitching thing, it was pretty clear. Breslow had implied that he wanted to raise the ceiling of the rotation, but with the middle of the order bat, I mean, that's something that I think everyone knows that they need, but he hadn't directly said it till this point last night. To me, when you talk about, and his words were basically, we want a middle of the order bat that teams have to game plan around. A middle-of-the-order bat that's presence can impact the rest of the lineup. And to me, I've been looking at it as there are 4 free agents that I think you can pencil in at least 30 bombs from next year: Alonso, Schwarber, Eugenio Suarez, and Munetaka Murakami. But when you talk about it the way Breslow did last night, when you're thinking about a middle-of-the-order bat that teams have to game plan around that can impact the rest of the lineup, there's 2 free agent names that fit that mold to me, and it's Pete Alonso and it's Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and out of those 2, you want who exactly?
Man, I don't have too much of a preference with those 2. Either of those guys could anchor any lineup, playoff or not playoff. Like that, those dudes are legitimate anchors. I know some people think maybe they should prioritize the right-handed bat in Alonso. To me, I think there are right-handed bats in this lineup. You've already got Story, you've got Rafaela, you've got Narvaez, and hopefully they'll bring back Alex Bregman too. I mean, you've got some right-handed bats, so I don't think it's quite as urgent as it originally looked a year ago with seemingly everyone coming up as left-handed hitters.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, either of those guys, you insert them into the lineup and it changes the landscape of things.
I want to ask you just a straight-up question. I know there's no salary cap, but stay with me. Knowing what we know about this team in recent history, Gordo, is there a world in which you see we get Alonso or Schwarbs? I'll take whoever's. I'm with you on that. Keep Bregman and acquire a true number 2 starting pitcher. Is that a thing that can really happen?
I think it can.
Okay.
I certainly think it can. It would take some gymnastics to do it. I mean, you'd have to shed some salary elsewhere. Masataka Yoshida, in this case, probably doesn't have much of a role on the roster, and you would probably have to maybe attach a prospect to get some salary off the books there. We're still counting on an outfield trade. If it's Jarren Duran, he makes the most on the team in the outfield, $7.5 to $8 million for Durant next year. So there's some avenues to shed some salary that can give the team some relief if they go that route. But yeah, I mean, you bring back Bregman, he's going to be around 30-ish mil a year. You bring in Alonso or Schwarber, those guys will be 25 to 30 plus million right there. If you trade for Joe Ryan or Freddie Peralta or even a Hunter Green for the starting rotation, those guys, I mean, they're going to cost a lot in terms of prospects, but they don't make a ton in terms of money. So it is possible to fit those things in. But yeah, in terms of recent history, I do think some gymnastics would need to be played here to actually make it happen. But this is what the front office is paid to do. They're given a budget, then they have to operate within it and do what's needed to be done to stay within it and put the best team on the field. But I do think those 3 things are possible, plus get the lefty reliever back that you need to really finish off the bullpen. I think it's all possible.
Okay, I mean, listen, I'm hearing you talk. I'm keying in on a few things here. When you talked about the number 2 starter in terms of pitching, you said trade for. Immediately, my brain went to, okay, well, what's available free agent-wise? I'm looking at the list here as we talk, Gordo. This list sucks. Outside of Valdez,
there's 2 names on there that are decent.
Valdez, Cease, and Cease, I don't know if I could trust, although, you know, he pitched well last year, and Zach Gallen, who's young. I don't. This list is trash. Like, do you see a world in which the Sox go the free agent route here for the number 2? Or you said trade. You think they have to trade for a guy like they did Crochet?
And please help him lessen the disdain on the word trash. He's just so quick to go there. My gosh. We were talking about Cease just kind of being a pain in the arse a couple months ago.
I said I like Cease. I like Valdez. I like Cease.
You barely got that out
I like
there,
Gallen.
bud. Okay.
But let me define trash, Gordo. Everyone else on this list is 100 years old with a lot of miles. And then, like, there's no one young. There's no one that good. Like, Merrill Kelly, we should have got him at the deadline. And, oh, by the way, now clock just struck. He's 100. So, I mean, Valdez, Cease, Gallen all feel like Red Sox to me.
Gordo,
but I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to even call this list trash?
I mean, they're guys that have had good careers to this point, but you don't see a lot of starting pitchers that hit free agency without warts. It's just the truth. Like, they get to that point because they get a lot of mileage. I mean, Framber Valdez has been the epitome of consistency. He's one on the free agent market too. Yeah. But the issue there is he's 32 and he didn't have the greatest second half. And he might have had the thing where he threw the fastball at the catcher when he was calling for off speed. That was crazy.
Right.
To me, the reason I look so much at the trade market is these guys are younger. These guys cost less money. I mean, we talked about it just now, where it's like they need to bring back Alex Bregman, but they also need to sign one of these premier power bats. I don't think there's going to be enough money this offseason to hand out 3 separate 9-figure deals. Whew. That's asking a lot. So, yeah, to me, there's fewer bats available for trade. I mean, you could do it. Like we talked about it on the podcast last week about Vinny Pasquantino potentially being an option. But to me, there's just so many more options for starting pitchers via trade. And I like them all better than the free agents, too. So it just makes the most sense. But, yeah, they should be talking to all of these free agents. I mean, they've been connected to Dylan Cease multiple years in the past. So I would never rule any of those out. But just in terms of thinking about the pattern, the way the puzzle fits together, that makes the most sense to me. It's trading for the arm and signing the bats.
Do you like Gallen? I like Zach Gallen.
Travis is never going to let me ask you a question.
I know, I'm sorry. I like Gallen. Do you like Gallen? Look, within reason, Gordo, I'm not going to break the bank for the guy, but, I mean, lately, I don't know if he's done anything to be worthy of breaking the bank for. If you can get Gallen at a decent...
Not the sexiest previous season, but, I mean, this was a name
last season was
very much out
yes.
there.
Like, do you think Gallen's realistic? I'd pay a little something for him.
Well, Zach Gallen going into last season, you would have thought could be either the top or one of the top 2 or 3 pitchers on the market. Mm-hmm. He had a down season this year. There's really no getting around it. He finished off pretty strong, and it's going to help his market. I originally thought maybe he would be a candidate to accept the 1-year qualifying offer and try to rebound for next year's free agency. Okay. But I think he can get a multi-year deal off of how he finished. But to me, when Craig Breslow is talking about a guy to pitch at the top of the rotation, not just behind Crochet, but alongside Crochet, there's a pretty high standard there. And to me, Zach Gallen, he's a good pitcher, and he has a chance to be a really good value for the team that signs him. But if I'm the Red Sox, I don't know for a fact that he is that co-anchor for Crochet. So I would be aiming a little bit higher. But I mean, in terms of plan C, D, whatever, like he is in there on the list of options. I just think there's so many options available that you're not going to need to get to that point.
It feels like the Red Sox don't want to have another close but no cigar kind of situation, especially when it comes to pitching. If there's one thing that they can do in this offseason is make sure that they establish a lot more confidence in what that 1-2 punch is going to be. You mentioned a couple of names kind of fishing around and not depending on free agency. I know we ask you this every week, but with the pieces changing, with the rumor mill continuing to roll around, are there any other names that jump to the top for you, or scenarios that feel more realistic today for the Red Sox to kind of have or achieve that goal?
Well, I think the picture is getting a little bit clearer. just because you had Craig Breslow yesterday say we feel pretty good about options 3 through 10. So you can pretty much, I don't want to say rule out other additions, but you can pretty much rule out significant additions that are not for the number 2 spot. And what I mean by that is you can rule out the Walker Buehler type contracts where they sign a guy who maybe pencils in as a number 4 but has the upside to do better. No, they're good there. They're good. They want the number 2. To me, in terms of outside the box options, I'm going to have my eye on Hunter Green until I hear definitively that he's not getting traded, because you still get some murmurs from the media. You heard it from the Reds beat about could they consider doing this in an attempt to get more offense. And when I hear a team looking for offense, major league caliber bats, I mean, that's what the Red Sox have to trade. Like they have an outfielder, and they have an outfielder to move, and the Reds, whether it be a Jarren Duran or Wilyer Abreu, like they could use that type of bat. So if they're open to dealing Hunter Green, which still to me remains to be seen, but if they are open to it, that would be an outside the box option that I didn't see coming into this offseason. That would be, in my opinion, better than anything else out there.
All right, really quickly, what do you think it would take to acquire Hunter Green? Because I know sometimes talking about moving prospects is like borderline taboo. And this is a team that's known to have a hot prospect pool, but they have a lot of young talent that has started to step up for this team and get the call-ups and answer the bell. So what do you think it would take? What does that look like?
The password.
Yeah, I mean, to get a guy like Hunter Green who's cost controlled for, I believe, 4 more years. I mean, it's going to cost a haul. Like, you think Tarek Skubal is going to cost a lot. Try upping that for 4 years of Hunter Green. I think you're starting with one of those outfielders. I think you have to include one of the big premier starting pitcher prospects that they've got. Peyton Tolley comes to mind as a guy that the Reds would probably have their eye on.
Forget about it.
I think keep going up from there. I think it's even more from there. Like,
thank
talk about
you
password.
for letting me know what I don't want to see happen.
No, hell no.
All this and more. You guys know Nat joins us every week. Make sure you follow him over at Twitter to stay attuned as to what's going on in the more GM meetings that will continue to take place. Nat, as always, we love having you a part of the Boston's Under the Chat family, and we'll see you next time with more goods on the Red Sox offseason.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, we go from Red Sox to the red hot Patriots with John Lyons on the other side here on Boston's End of the Chat. Let us know your thoughts, what moves you want to see in the Red Sox offseason. And oh, by the way, the May VP campaign continues to thrive. 617-790-0928 to let us know your thoughts right here on Boston's End of the Chat. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break.